Yes, and welcome to the Sully's Garden. Folks, well, I'm dressed in my winter clothes again because we've plummeted back down to about 14 degrees and it feels a lot colder than that, even though the sun's just kicked out now. We've gone from 26 or 28 degrees yesterday and down to 6 at night, even lower, and now we're back up to 14, 15 approximately. It really does play a lot of, or causes a lot of havoc on plants, I should say, because they don't know what's going on. Look at me, I can put a jacket on, they can't. And I'm standing next to my roses here, the bush roses. Well, they're not, well, they look like bush roses, but they're actually standards. And how good are they looking? Have a look at the clean foliage on these and the amount of new buds coming up. Admittedly, these are a few years old, but your roses should be looking like this, irrespective of how old or young they are. If they are not looking nice and clean, because that's what they should be this time of the year. They should have beautiful clean foliage, nice dark vibrant colours and beautiful buds coming up with that succulent red stem coming through there. Now these are iceberg roses and hybrids are different as far as the way they grow compared to a floribunda. They're quite bushy, they have clusters of flowers coming up, whereas a hybrid tea will have a long shoot come on with a single flower on it, be it all a large or small flower. But irrespective of the type of rose it is, whether it's a standard or a bush, they should be looking really vibrant, really healthy. If they're not, it means your soil is struggling with the life in it, with the nutrients, the minerals in the soil are not being released or taken up by the plant properly. You should have fed them by now. And I fed these and I cut these back a few weeks ago. In the past, I've said to you, be cautious when you prune them, always cut them back to a nice clean sort of just above a bud facing outwards. Well, I took to these with my hedge trimmer and I never got back to them again. So there were a couple of torn branches, which is my bad, but irrespective of the way I've cut them, well, even considering the way I cut them, they have come back with a vengeance. Plenty of colour, plenty of flowers, and things to look out for this time of the year are aphids. And I dare say some of you will have aphids on the buds, and this is where you'll look for them, right in the new growth where the new buds are. And they'll sit there around the base of the bud itself and almost cover it all if they're in mass population. Just making sure I haven't got any before I bite my tongue off. No, they're nice and clean. There we are. So these have not got any aphids on them, and black spot is way too early. Mildew can develop quite quickly, considering the fact that we've had some stronger, dramatic climatic changes from one day to the other. But the fact that the plant is taking up, it's going to be very resilient to being infected by pest or disease. So if your plants are struggling this time of the year, and we're talking roses, it is because your soil is malnourished, hasn't been fed properly. Avoid synthetic fertilizers, and I've beaten that drum to death. Synthetic fertilizers will disconnect your plant from the life in the soil. So there's no bonding between the roots and whatever microbial activity exists in the soil, if any. But it will only work, and it will work tremendously well over time when you use natural products. What do I feed my plants with? Superfood and black grit. That's it. Superfood and black grit, liquid feed whenever I feel like it on the roses, but normally that's for the veggies for me and small plants. And they don't really need anything else. You can top dress them with compost if you like as well, but not more than that. Another thing to look out for, and this is what happens because this is the graft, the rootstock taking off. So the graft on top is healthy, but the rootstock wants to become its own plant in its own right, and it'll sucker up like that. So take these off. Look how soft that is. Take them off, cut them right to the ground, and if you can dig around the base, scratch around and expose exactly where it comes from and gorge it out. Is it gauge or gorge it out or cut it out? You know what I mean? Just get a Stanley knife or a sharp knife and cut it right out so it doesn't grow back. Don't cut it flush with the secateurs because it'll keep suckering up. Can't wait, eh? Except for the weeds. Ignore the weeds. And if you don't like them, come and help me pull them out. Then you'll understand how difficult it is because we don't spray here. The roses are about to burst into full flight. Our irises are coming on tremendously with an amount of buds on them. Black grit will do that. Get some into your garden if you haven't done so already. Look after your roses, clean them up if they got aphids, and if they have got aphids, do the homebrew insecticide. Soap, oil and water. A teaspoon of each or a tablespoon of each in a litre of water and spray it on every 5 to 7 days. And if they're getting a little bit of discolouring on the leaves, it means they're hungry. Feed them. It's never too late. Roses need to be fed every 6 to 8 weeks at least through the growing season. So sit back and enjoy the flowers if you've got them already about to bloom, or otherwise get online or go to your nearest stockist and feed your roses. From me, Vasily, Maresi. Oh, and don't forget, if you know already and you don't know already, I'm heading out to Horsham. So I'll be there this weekend, Horsham Spring Festival, on stage talking all day. Well, in between, a couple of breaks. Come down, there'll be lots of plants, lots of stall holders, lots of great products and people to meet and see and obviously purchase so you can enjoy. We'll have a stand there as well. So for those who don't want to pay postage, pop down to the Horsham Spring Festival this weekend and get yourself some great goodies, plants as well, and have a great weekend. From me, Vasily, Maresi.